Not again. These thoughts just won't stop.
Whoa, looks like we have an ant infestation.
Ant infestation?
Yep, automatic negative thoughts, aka ants. And just like real ants, if you don't stop them, they multiply, making us feel stuck, overwhelmed, and full of self-doubt. But don't worry, in today's video, I'll show you how to stop these ants from taking over your mind, especially if you have ADHD. You'll learn why these thoughts happen, how to reframe them, and my 5-step system that I started using to help me stop my ants from invading, and real ways that you can use to reset your mindset for success. By the end of this video, you should have the tools to rewire your brain for clarity, confidence, and peace. Let's get into it. So, if you've ever thought, I'm not good enough, I always mess up, or what if I fail, this video is for you.
Why do ADHD brains struggle so much with negative thoughts?
People with ADHD often struggle with anxious, negative thoughts because of the way their brains process emotions, memory, and executive function. The combination of rejection sensitivity, emotional dysregulation, and rumination makes it easy to spiral into patterns of self-doubt, fear, and overthinking. Here are the main reasons ants can take over the ADHD brain. Rejection sensitivity dysphoria, RSD. We feel criticism deeply, even when it's not meant that way. This makes us overthink and expect failure before we even start. Working memory challenges. Our brain holds onto past mistakes like a highlight reel, but only the bad moments. Impulsivity in thinking. Instead of questioning a thought, we often accept it as a fact before we even process it. Emotional intensity. Negative emotions feel bigger and harder to shake off. Overstimulation and stress. A busy mind equals a louder inner critic. But here's the good news. Just like we can train our brains to focus better, we can also train it to stop believing every negative thought as truth. How to rewire the ADHD brain to stop anxious negative thoughts. The key is awareness, reframing, and nervous system regulation. As an adult with ADHD or a mindfulpreneur like you and me, we can train our brain to shift away from negative thinking patterns with intentional practices. Here's the 5-step system that has worked for me, and I'm sure you'll find it valuable as well. Number 1, mindfulness-based thought awareness. Notice what you're thinking without judgment. Ask, is this thought true, helpful, or necessary? Imagine the thought as a passing cloud rather than a permanent truth. Reframe it. Instead of, I'll never be successful at this, try, this is a learning moment, not a failure. Number 2, cognitive reframing, the what if flip. ADHD brains often default to what if something goes wrong, or what if I don't get it, or what if it doesn't work out. Flip it to what if it goes right. For example, what if I fail would be flipped to what if I succeed and surprise myself. You see, your brain is wired to find answers to whatever questions you ask. So let's just start asking better ones. Number 3, somatic regulation. Reset the nervous system. When stuck in anxious thoughts, your body needs to feel safe before your mind can shift. So we want to make sure that we're deep breathing. Box breathing technique is wonderful, which is where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. You can also use grounding techniques. I love the 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Next, you want to shake it off, like literally shake everything. Shake it off, shake it off. Shaking your hands, jumping in place, or stretching helps release cortisol and nervous tension. Number 4, rewire thought patterns with positive self-talk. Your brain believes whatever you tell it most, so let's speak truth-based affirmations out loudly, daily. I want you to write counter statements to your common anxious thoughts. For example, you can use a thought reframe chart, and I'll illustrate more of what this looks like in our Mindset Minute. Number 5, create a mindset reset ritual. Okay. Mindfulpreneurs benefit from structured resets to break out of negative thought loops. Set a 5-minute thought check-in timer where you will ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Journaling for reframing. Then I want you to list the negative thought, challenge it, and then write the opposite. Mini reset actions. Take a walk, drink water, stretch, listen to an uplifting podcast, etc. Mindset Minute. Your ADHD brain is not broken. It just operates differently. Instead of trying to stop anxious thoughts, train your brain to navigate them with awareness, reframing, and action. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. As a mindfulpreneur, this means integrating daily mindset habits into your workflow. Small shifts can actually compound over time, and soon enough, your brain will default to a more positive, resilient mindset. Mindset shift time. Here's something powerful. Your brain believes whatever you tell it most. So if you're always thinking, I can't do this, your brain will look for the proof to make that true. Old mindset. What if I fail? New mindset. What if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams? Old mindset. I always mess up. New mindset. Every mistake is just feedback to grow. Let's start asking better questions. Instead of, what's wrong with me? Ask, what's one small step I can take today? Pro tip, write your most common ants down and reframe them into truth-based affirmations. The more you say them, the more they stick. Scripture Minute. Now, let's anchor this in the Word because God has a lot to say about our thought life.
Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This reminds us that we have to be intentional about renewing our thoughts daily. It doesn't happen automatically. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. That means you don't have to let every thought control you. You can reject lies and replace them with truth. Philippians 4:8. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, think about such things. If your thoughts don't align with this, it's time to change them.
Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are a child of God, called for a purpose, and fully capable of breaking free from negative thinking. Healthy practical ways to practice mindfulness. Let's talk about real practical ways to stop ants in their tracks. Number 1, thought awareness check-ins. Set a 5-minute timer and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Number 2, deep breathing. Box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. This actually calms the nervous system very well. Number 3, grounding exercise. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, and 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Number 4, journaling for thought reframing. Write out a negative thought. Challenge it. Rewrite it with truth. And number 5, daily affirmations and scripture declarations. Start the day by speaking life over yourself. Before you go, I want you to remember this. You are not your thoughts. Just because a negative thought enters your mind doesn't mean you have to believe it. You have the power to reframe, to reset, and to renew your mind every single day. So, the next time those ants start creeping in, I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Or is it stealing my peace? Choose truth, choose growth, and most importantly, choose joy. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what is one thought you're working to reframe this week. Let's uplift each other. If you're ready to take those negative thoughts captive, grab my free thought reframing chart, the link in the description, to help you stay consistent in this journey. And there you have it, my beautiful mindfulpreneurs. As always, remember to stay focused, stay connected, and always choose joy. Bye.